bring in Oil and Gas Association President Tim Stewart. Tim, you bought an electric vehicle to see what it was like to drive, but the Biden administration has designed policy from top to bottom to spend trillions of dollars and force every American to drive these damn things and get rid of gasoline-powered automobiles, period.
This is an interesting development for me to watch personally because, one, I own Ford stock, and two, my family, we drive 2 Ford vehicles, but I also own another electric vehicle, a Volkswagen. So we're watching this one closely. It's fascinating to me because, Dagan, these are basically essentially government-mandated losses for the automakers. Ford's losing $72,000 for every EV sold. $1.5 billion in the second quarter on selling 15,000 EVs. I don't know how they keep this up. But dropping these models, it's really interesting. You made that point that the cost of a new car is very expensive, and when you drop the lower price models in terms for a subsidized EV, you impact the low and moderate income buyers. And so that doesn't also factor into those low and moderate income families who have to bring on the additional costs of EV ownership. And it's really, really complicated.
Yeah, translation, you can't afford it. And they're banking on a government bailout at some point is my guess. I want to get your take on this, though, Tim. This is from the CEO of Rivian Automotive. They make electric vehicles. Listen to what he says about the future of gas-powered cars and trucks. Quote, I think the reality of buying a combustion-powered vehicle sort of like building a horse barn in 1910. Imagine buying a Chevy Suburban in 2030. What are you going to do with that in 10 years? Gas stations will be slowly disappearing. It's just weird. But Tim, all of that is predicated on government forcing a transition that you just laid out quite well is not economical at its current pace. Why do we have to march down that road?
Well, Rivian's a great vehicle, but the fact is that full-size SUVs in the second quarter outsold Rivian 8-1. That's full size. That's not counting pickups, midsize, or small SUVs in and of themselves. The reality is, if I buy a 23 Chevy Suburban or a 23 Ford Expedition, that car is going to be around a long time. And frankly, that car is going to be running longer than the Rivian owner who has to replace his battery in 7 years. You know, building EVs is one thing, and many in the industry are really good at that. But the fact of the matter is that selling them is something different altogether. There's over 100-day supply of EVs, whereas the internal combustion engines are 50 days sitting on the dealer's lots. It's not a lack of manufacturing like DOE seems to think about it. It's actually a lack of consumer demand. It's not that people can't get EVs. It's they don't want them, and that's really what's going on here.
But, Tim, I have to push back. This isn't being forced on Ford and General Motors to make these money-losing cars. They got in bed with the government. They are now an extension of the federal government. These cars are being subsidized. The Inflation Reduction Act has $1 trillion worth of climate subsidies. And the subsidies just for electric vehicles run $400 billion, and they are uncapped. So they are getting loans that no other business can get in this nation from a private lender, straight from the government, which is what Ford is getting. It is welfare. They're accepting it. They know what they're doing, and nobody had the guts to stand up and say, we're not doing this.
Did you ever think, 3 years ago that we would have thought that the U.S. would import and implement the Chinese private sector business model? Because this is really what it is. It's like the Chinese model and the issue is whenever the government becomes your partner, there are always strings attached, and Ford and DOE are firmly in business together. And like the CCP model, the subsidies, they subsidize on the front end with the assumption that they will be able to make decisions as to what the consumer options will have later on in the future. I think the automakers are probably going to regret this decision.
I hope they do. And I hope Americans stand up to it just like you do. Tim, thank you so much. Great to see you. Tim Stewart.
Great to be with you. Thank you.